This is the IC Pixels podcast with David and Anthony Cavins. We're going to talk about design in everyday situations.
Welcome back. This is another episode of the IC Pixels podcast. This is David.
This is Anthony.
We like to start off by apologizing for the missing episode. So all four of you who listen, sorry we didn't have an episode a couple weeks ago because life happens. But we're back.
Yeah.
Our topic, we actually have a real topic this week. We're not just going to talk randomly like we do sometimes. So our topic for this week, we want to talk a little bit about album covers. So there's a few like caveats we want to throw out there before we begin. I'm sure there's great album covers in other genres of music, like orchestral music, and maybe in like jazz or something. Sure country music has some nice album covers, and whatever it is that that one lady sings.
Hick hop.
Hick hop? I've never heard of that.
It's probably that.
Whatever Katy Perry does, I'm sure there's great album covers there. But I wouldn't know because I don't care. I don't listen to that music very much unless I'm like in a store and hear it. And I definitely don't look at what their album covers look like.
Yeah.
So
we mostly listen to rap, maybe some R&B, but I really don't remember any R&B album covers either.
Yeah.
So
the discussion will probably center around hip hop and rap. If you don't know anything about that, sorry.
You will when you're done.
Also, for the sake of perspective,
we're not that old.
We're not that old. So if your album cover or whatever came out in the early 90s or 80s, I don't know about it. I probably haven't seen it. I might have seen it, but I probably don't know that much about it.
Yeah, unless you were really like, important or whatever. Yeah. I mean, so some of the things that we're going to discuss, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it happened before, let's say
98.
Not 98. We're not that young. I'd say like
96.
When did Illmatic come out?
I don't know. So like that's another thing. Like some of these albums came out while I was alive, like Illmatic and like whatever else you want to talk about. But I didn't listen to them until recently. Not that recently, but I didn't listen to them until I was like an adult.
You weren't there to like at the album release, like jumping on it or whatever. Yeah.
No. Like they came out while I was alive, but I didn't see the album cover. I might have heard some of the music, but I didn't see the album cover until recently, like within the last 15 years or so. So that's something
in
else.
The last 15 minutes. No.
So that's something else. Just to throw out there. There's definitely, this is not all-inclusive conversation, so we're definitely going to miss some stuff. If we miss it, feel free to inform us. But yeah. So with all that being said, we want to talk about some of the some album covers that kind of stuck out to us, and then we also wanted to kind of frame that conversation by talking about general genres of album cover design, because in our discussion, we leading up to this podcast, we definitely saw like there's some general genres. So I guess let's start by talking about the general genres, and then we can talk about things in those genres.
Okay. So we have Bling, Squad, Baby, the Artsy, the Stylized. I mean, those two may go together, but we made a distinction for when we'll go into that. You got the minimal album cover, and then you got the controversial cover, and then then you have the one that's, I don't know, you've either got a gun or you're doing some kind of crime.
So I don't know if we have much to talk about for the gun/crime album cover, because
we know they exist.
Yeah, they exist, but we couldn't think of any good ones.
They're more prevalent in the mixtape area. I mean, I could think of a bunch of mixtapes that have that for a cover, but for an actual album, they probably let that fly. I mean, well, there's a lot of album covers with people holding guns, so that exists. But yeah.
So I guess let's go through and kind of define what we're talking about. So You mentioned what was the first one you mentioned?
Bling.
Okay, so Bling. Uh, would you
I
like?
think Master P.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they had a whole. Hmm?
yeah, well, there was a whole like kind of. I guess the Hot Boys kind of started it with Bling Bling, obviously, because
No.
they started
Well,
the name and all
the
that stuff.
term bling, but Master P was doing that for his album covers because Pen and Pixel was doing them. I remember that.
Hmm.
What a company, but yeah, nah, I mean, it's the ridiculous, like, it's everything's photoshopped together. There's a car, there's a girl, there's some kind of ridiculous gaudy ceiling.
Lots of
You're in the middle.
lens flares and outer glow going on.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They just really went to town in Photoshop, early Photoshop effects, and photoshopped in some cars that you don't own, and maybe throw a gun somewhere and put your name in some diamonds, and you're done.
Exactly. Sounds good.
I mean, that sounds amazing. I mean, I don't know, it works. I remember looking at all those because I would get like Master P albums, and he'd have like like the next 12 albums in the back of the on the back cover or something like that, so you could see all of them. And it's like whoever was making those, they were getting some money.
Hmm.
They had to work cut out because it's like like, all right, well, I got 12 more people coming out next week.
And I need you to Photoshop a whole lot of diamonds and random cars on
Yeah,
things.
just swap out the girls, swap out the name, swap out some cars, and then boom, let's do
Lots of
it.
bubble eye Hummers or whatever they were talking about.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I can't. There's not one specific No Limit one that's popping in my head right now, but I mean, probably one of the most memorable ones, what I would say, I mean, was the Juvenile, which I mean wasn't No Limit, but still New Orleans. But Juvenile's 400 Degrees was like that.
Yeah.
They borrowed that same style.
The one I remember was Snoop. The game is to be sold, not to be
Oh,
told, or one of them told, not to be sold. I don't know what it was, but
so you remember the cover? I bet you don't remember the
no, I don't
album,
remember
though.
any songs off that album. But I
It's
remember
probably
the
the best.
cover because again, overly Photoshop. Um, yeah,
Yeah, didn't they have like a cane or something? I
yeah. It
don't
was
know.
like it seemed like they took a picture of somebody and then they were like, "All right, we have your face now. Let's just Photoshop the rest."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's. I was looking at the Juvenile one today, just looking at like what all they had on there. It was interesting. Just, I don't know, the choices of the items, and it's like, okay, we're gonna put your face here, we're gonna put you here, we're gonna move you here. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the Snoop one now. It's got like a dog on it. They've got two dogs, and one of them diamonds on his muzzle, and then looks like the Parthenon is behind him.
Yeah, it's basically you
But
put diamonds on things where they don't belong. You have a lot of layer effects on the text, like to make it look like gold or diamonds or whatever. It's just, in general, from a design perspective, it's all bad. I can't think of.
Yeah, I mean, it's the club flyer
Yeah,
basically. I mean, I don't know what club flyers looked like before then, but it's like, I mean, that's what they I feel like this is where they got all their
yeah.
inspiration.
But I feel like there's other people that have done bling. I'm trying to think of someone who has. Maybe I think maybe Nelly or somebody has done it, but other people have done some sort of bling. Not obviously not that you know overdone, but they've done some variation of bling. But it was actually real. Like they actually did have that chain or whatever they were trying to show off with. Like Lil Wayne on I think it's Carter 2. He's posing by Bentley. Jay Z on Volume 2, I think it is, or Volume 1. I don't know which one it is. He's posing by a Bentley of some sort or Rolls Royce.
I think
Every
every
rapper's
rapper
done
has
some variation
posed
of
by
that cover.
it.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. And then you have Kendrick's first album where he went the
It's
opposite
like the
direction.
van, a caravan.
It's the minivan.
Yeah, that
Some
doesn't
videos
fall in
different.
this category. Um,
Yeah.
so in terms of things that stood out to me in that category, well, I'll say like I like the Jay Z. I think it's Volume 2. I have to Google it to tell you for sure, but where he's posing by a Bentley and he's got on like a suit or whatever. And I like the Carter 2 where he's posing by a Bentley because it's kind of minimalist and it's a nice design, but it's also like, look, I have money because I'm standing by a Bentley.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think it's probably inspired by Volume
mhm.
2. Kind of think of it.
I need to Google
Um,
this stuff to make sure I'm saying the right thing. But yeah, those are two that kind of stood out to me um, in terms of the design.
well, those are more
Yeah,
casual
yeah.
bling
There's like the
than
casual bling, and then there's the blatant bling, and the blatant bling is usually fake.
yeah. I mean, which started with like, I mean, I don't know if it started, but some of the earlier ones is like the paid in full
Hmm.
cover or something like that. Um, I mean, that was before our time. This is kind of, but but that's one that has was iconic, so it stuck around, so people know what it
Yeah.
looks like. So,
All right.
um,
So what was the next genre?
the squad,
Squad
this
shot.
one, yeah, any group photo of you and your friends. I mean, I think the Roots. I mean, out of their how many albums do they have? Like 12. I'd say about at least 6 to 8 of those are the squad. I mean, but that has different variations. Like the earlier ones, it was more of a the more mean mugging squad versus the later ones where it's more just like, hey, we're on late night,
Yeah.
kind of squad. But I mean, which is fine. But it's a different kind of squad ones. I mean, you can look at early like Wu Tang, albums and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people do the squad thing. I feel like that was like the the advent of the rap album
Yeah.
or something
Well,
cover,
there's the
maybe,
threatening
maybe not.
squad, and then there's just well, the threatening squad is probably the most used one. Is we're threatening, and we
Yeah,
got
I
like
mean, not so recently do you get the friendly
well, you
squad.
get like the wide angle lens and like lots of Timberlands in your face, that type of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen a friendly
bridge
squad
in the
like,
back.
"Hey guys, come on over, let's play." I've never seen that. Listen to our rapping.
You could say that latest Yachty album cover is that,
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's
but that's not quite his
yeah, just random
squad, so
people.
that's a little bit different. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't call that his squad, so that's a little bit different. But yeah, I don't know if there's any. I mean, well, like later Roots albums, they're not
Well,
always
they're not
like
even on the
mugging,
albums
but
anymore. Like on the covers, it's just more artsy,
some of them,
like Undone and How I Got Over
Undone they
and
weren't, but on
uh
they were on, and then you shoot your cousin, they were on there, but it was like kind of a
yeah,
stylized kind of thing. That was a
yes
good
it was.
album. I forget about that
They
sometimes, but
have
yeah.
there's so many to choose from. It's like okay, I so off topic. Sometimes I just get stuck on one good album. And I forget about there's other ones I could listen to. So like right now
Yeah.
I think I have Phrenology, and then I have in my car I have Phrenology and the one where this hangman on it, Game Theory.
Um,
And then I have some
oh,
of
okay.
How I Got
I think
Over and some of Tipping Point. But then it's like, okay, but what about Rising Down? What about Undone? Like there's still more to choose from.
yeah. I think the one I've listened to the most is How I
Hmm.
Got Over.
Yeah, I like
Probably just because that's the
yeah.
latest one. I remember when I sat down and was going to listen to all of them back to back. I tried to do that, and I think at some point I don't know, I forgot that I was doing that. But I mean, because
Hmm.
they're all good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you have favorites, and I probably have that one's one of my favorites, and I do like Undone, and I like and How You Shoot Your Cousin. I like their later stuff. Like some people are probably stuck on the earlier stuff, but I do like the later stuff because
I
it's a
don't
little
think
bit
I've ever
different.
listened to
So
anything. Well, I've listened to the one with like What They Do and yeah, What They Do and a couple of the songs on it, but I never listened to all of like Philadelphia Half Life. One of my favorites I'm gonna have to say is Rising Down because there's a song on there with most Def is good, and they have that song on there with it's got Petey Crack and that other guy on there. I don't know. No, it's
Gucci.
not Gucci, but it's hard. I like that album.
Oh. Okay. Now I have to go back through. I mean, because I started at the beginning, so I did listen to Philadelphia Half Life. I mean, it's just it sounds like you're at a concert
Hmm.
or something like that. So I mean, it's cool, but it's. I mean, I like the musicality they got to
Hmm.
later. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not stuck on our first one because I don't even remember when that one came out, and I wasn't. I don't know. It
So
doesn't matter to me.
back to topic. Part of I think a
Oh
subgenre
right.
of the squad pose is the pose with your shirt off. Because not everybody has a squad. So if you don't have a squad, I think
Pose
just
with
take your shirt off. show your tattoos. Because I think everyone has, most rappers have done that. Because I remember when I was younger, somebody from Cash Money did that. It was like, might have been Juvie or somebody. And
I'm pretty sure all of them. Well, you remember the Hive video? All of them had
yeah,
their
that's
shirt
true.
off.
And that's when, as a young man,
They were not tank top
yeah,
ready, though.
I was not tank top ready, but I felt empowered as a young man. Like, they can do it. I can do it. I don't need to work out. I just need, like, they had like a little gut and everything. And it's like, what? I thought, because if you go back in the history of hip hop, like earlier on, I'm sure like LL has done several albums with his shirt off, more than likely. I don't know. I can't say. I never really looked at his albums. But I'm sure everybody who did it generally was tank top ready. But
Yeah, that was ideal. But well, I mean, because you can think like
yeah,
50 Cent, like Get Rich or Die Trying or something like that. Yeah, I mean, even Lil Wayne's albums, like a lot of those. But I think at some point, I don't know who started the be fat with your shirt off
well,
trend
Rick
on
Ross
album
is
cover.
definitely he didn't start it, but I think he's definitely promoted it a lot. With just I'm fat and I don't care.
Because
No,
Biggie
he
didn't
did.
do that.
No,
Well, wait, but not on the album cover. But
yeah.
um, and I think you can count Goody in that too for promoting that. Be
Who?
fat with your on your
Who?
album
Oh,
cover.
he's
Gucci,
not exactly fat, but yeah.
not anymore, but I mean,
I feel like
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't spend much time looking at those albums. So also Nelly did it because Country Grammar he kind of had on like a vest with no shirt on or something. I don't know. So that's definitely
Yeah, this is going in a weird direction. So
yeah.
let's
So
just
I don't have much else to say about that topic except pause. No homo.
Well, I mean, you can insert little Kim album covers and all those if you want to count people with their shirt off, but that's a little bit that's a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
genre.
I think yeah. We'll talk about that.
It's a
Yeah.
different motivation.
At least
Yeah.
for me. If you're into that type of thing, that's fine. Um, so yeah, I think you don't see as many Squad album covers anymore. At least you don't. I think that was more
No.
earlier, like when we were younger, hip hop. It was definitely your Squad on the corner, lots of Timberlands, lots of baggy jeans, maybe some like a Averex jacket or two, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, for me, in terms of Squad things that stand out design wise, I definitely like the Pimple Butterfly, that cover. That's more recent, so maybe I'm just thinking of what's recent. Um,
Yeah. I mean, and that one, well, that was a little bit. Well, I mean, if you want to count it
it's
as, he's not in
I don't
it.
think it's a traditional
But
Squad, but I wouldn't put it in any other genre off the top of my head. Um, did any of them stand out to you, like from recent memory, design wise?
uh, I mean, none of the squad ones were that amazing. I mean, it's just your squad. I mean, none are really popping out to me. And doing research, I did. None were like, oh wow, this is really a great photo of you and your friends.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them, there's
I mean,
not enough
some
space for
are
design
more iconic. But
because it's all
no,
these
yeah.
Timberlands
I
and
mean,
stuff in the way.
yeah. Well, one of the early Roots ones is they managed to get a bridge in the back and all that. I think.
Hmm.
I think. But yeah, I mean, yeah, none that like really stand out to me like that. Where yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to look back at some of their old ones to see if I could see, but I don't see. There's one. No, well, it wasn't an album cover, but there was another picture of them that they did that I liked. But yeah. All right, so moving on. Next genre.
Babies.
Wheezy F babies.
Please say the baby. The first, I mean, the most iconic one, I'd say that's the Nas album.
So
I mean, or at least started it.
my favorite one is probably either Biggie or I like the Carter 3, I think it was.
Oh, with the
Yeah, yeah,
tattoos
yeah.
on the baby and everything.
I
Yeah, that
thought
was
that was
unique.
unique. Because the
Yeah,
Nas one, it's dated to me. It just looks old
yeah, it's iconic, but because of
because what it did.
what it is. But would I design that?
No,
No.
I didn't think it was design wise. I didn't think it looked that great. I like the Biggie one. I think it's Life or Death. I don't
Yeah,
remember which album it was, but I like that one because it's so minimalist, and it's a good shot of the baby. It's
yeah,
not. It's obviously not actually him, but yeah, I like that one.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people have done it since then. Like we mentioned the Little Wayne one, and like I feel like somebody did it recently.
Okay, it was
Um,
Ready to Die. I feel bad for not knowing that, but yeah.
yeah, there was somebody that had a baby one recently, and I cannot remember who it was.
Mm. But yeah, I think
I guess it wasn't
it's
that
either the
good.
baby thing or when I was young, like a kid, and I was a thug.
Yeah. Well, we'll put that in. I
I've been a
mean,
thug since
what?
I was a youngster, young thugger, whatever you want to call it.
Well, you have something like that when they were just being bad as a kid.
Mm, no, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I've definitely seen ones where it's like they use a picture of themselves when they were younger doing something. It might be a squad pose or something like that,
Yeah,
but I can't think of any examples off the top of my head. But the baby thing has become a thing. Yeah, I guess you don't see it as much now, but it was definitely a thing back then, like in the
I
90s and
swear
so.
somebody did it recently, but I cannot think of. I can't think of. I mean, I can't think of.
Well, you've also seen people
I would.
put their kids on there too. Like it's not them, it's their kid. Or you'll see people holding their
Yeah. That's a
child, like
thing.
Chris Brown, that royalty album, he's holding his baby, like that type of stuff.
Hmm.
So, and babies are cute and stuff. So I guess that's why you got to do it.
I think didn't um Drake have a picture of a baby on or him as a kid? I don't know. I'm not a.
I don't remember what all his albums look like, but I don't think he's ever had a picture of a kid on.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe it might have been on the
Yeah,
back or something of that one.
yeah, the one with his face. I
Yeah,
think that there's like a baby with a pick in his hair or whatever. Yeah, and
yeah. I know what you're talking about. The one where he's got the 5 hairline. So
um,
I'll say like the one I like the best was Ready to Die, Biggie Smalls. Because first glance it
yeah,
does not look like like. So I guess that was came out in '94, according to the internet.
mm,
But that's not what a rap album looked like back then. Because back then most people were probably doing the squad picture, or some variation of the subdued bling or something like that. I don't know what was coming out in '94. I was a little kid,
yeah.
but that didn't look like a rap album to me, and so I like that because it kind of introduced something new.
So next you have the. Well, you have this one. I don't know how to. I feel like we have to divide it into the two different things because you have the artistic ones, and then you have the ones. Yeah, I don't know how to split that. You know what I mean? Like, because you have like take graduation or my dark twisted beautiful fantasy, um, versus like some of Big Crit's album covers, Logic's album covers, or anybody else who like somebody an artist like actually like painted them. Like actually Killer Mike's rap album cover. That one, well, that one managed to have a kid and it be painted. So he did two genres there. um, yeah, I just saw it. It's like a him as like I guess like a kid
Oh,
standing
okay,
there
okay, I
next to
remember that.
yeah. Um, because I mean, okay, so the Kanye albums, some of them were well, I mean, I almost feel like he needs to be his own category because he had a lot of his stuff started trends. Because it started at the beginning, like with the bear and everything, college dropout and late registration and graduation and
Then was Heartbreak or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, 808s and Heartbreak,
808s and
which
Heartbreak.
was a different than the first three. The first three stayed with the theme, and then 808s and Heartbreak broke from that theme, and I feel like that's when it started going into using like actual like I don't want to say you actually using artists because everybody's using artists for that, but like using I guess
It's not even him on the cover very
yeah,
much.
like almost like tapping into like fine art or something like that. I guess you could say like
Yeah. Well, you hear people. I've heard rappers try and say like, "This is gonna be a work of art." You know, this cover. I want people to buy it just for the cover and all that type of crap. And sometimes they come out with something whack, but I feel like,
you.
yeah, he kind of led that, like where people actually try and put some effort into the cover, and it's not just okay. Everybody stand on the corner,
Yeah, yeah. Or I mean, and
take a
it was
picture.
a departure from all of that because it was completely him off of the cover completely, and hiring some famous artist to do the cover kind of thing.
Hmm.
Because I mean, a lot of people, yeah, I mean, a lot because you have that. I mean, so I mean, he's done that for every album up to Yeezus, which didn't have anything, and then Life of Pablo, which looks like it was made like 10 minutes before it needed to be released. Um,
Life of Pablo was made in Microsoft Word.
yeah.
Well, no, they might have used Paint.
Yeah, and that was pretty terrible. I was so disappointed by that. But yeah, I mean, so the other one's like Graduation. I forgot the artist's name, but that's like an actual like you know known artist. I think he
Hmm.
even used like some stuff for the 808s and Heartbreaks. That was like somebody that was known. I think maybe the Cause or something like that. I don't know because he had all those different phases. And my dark, twisted, beautiful fantasy, same thing. Where it was, they used like a known artist or something like that for the cover, which
Yeah.
isn't something your average rapper can afford to do. So,
Well, I think also in that genre, some other stuff like well, we mentioned Killer Mike. I like the Run the Jewels covers because it's like a consistent theme and stuff like that, where
so that's
you
another
automatically know what it's
one. I don't
about.
know if that falls under a minimal cover, or that's an icon. Icon.
Yeah, it's more like an iconography because
Yeah.
you could use that. It's like it's their logo technically.
Yeah, no, yeah. In each one, it's the same thing. They just change the hands up a little bit, which I love that
Yeah,
concept. It's like that's perfect. Like you don't gotta, you just change it up a little bit, and I mean it's interesting as they do it. You can, I mean, so that would be its own category, but I don't know very many people that could fit into that because most people don't do that. Um,
yeah. Most people they depend on they're selling themselves and they can't just they're not just like willing to fall back and just have their name or their logo thing because Eminem kind of had a little logo thing going on for a while.
yeah.
Um, but also on that like kind of artistic side, one I noticed recently was Royce da 5'9", his album called Layers. It's like a stylized, weird image of him. Um, it kind of goes with that another genre we'll talk about, which is the brooding face thing. But it's him in like a stylized version of him, and like Big Boy's done the same thing with Vicious Lies and Dangerous Rumors. Um, Someone else, Eminem did it with one of those albums about his drug problems, Recovery. No, not Recovery, Relapse. Um, a lot of people have done that where it's like a stylized picture of themselves, like a very stylized picture of themselves, where you can't really, it's them, but like it's not like a picture.
Yeah, yeah, those are kind of cool. I actually was making one of those for somebody once, but I don't know what happened to them. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, yeah, there's a lot. I generally like those. It's cool. I mean, I can't think of one that was I would say this just stood out. It's iconic or something like that. I mean, I don't know if you would count. Well, I mean, because that's more artistic though. That's not so much stylized like the Outcast, AT Aliens, because that's like the
Hmm.
cartoon genre where you turn yourself into a cat. I mean, recently Big Crit had that.
De La Soul.
De La Soul.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, they did have that. Yeah, because their stuff is really artistic. All of their album covers are interesting.
Yeah, yeah. They've always been more interesting than not.
Yeah, or I mean, and then the kind of stylized Tribe Called Quest also, where they have the woman that's painted and everything.
Yeah.
Um, that's
Another kind of, it's not really stylized, but it's more artsy, is like Prime, that Royce Five Nine and Premiere album. It's got some interesting, like you can tell they put some work into that cover because like their faces are falling apart or whatever. Thought it was interesting. Is it amazing? Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I mean that's a little bit different. I feel like nowadays people are putting a little more effort into
Yeah.
being different, so that they're
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to avoid saying it's cool for a rap album because that's not what I want to say. But it is cool compared to many rap album covers. I'll say that.
yeah. I mean, I feel like nowadays a lot of people are being a little more creative. Um, I don't know who to credit that to, but people are being more creative with their album covers because I mean you don't see just the brooding on the cover with your squad. I mean honestly, if you did that, it'd be interesting because it's it'd be a throwback.
Well,
kind of
you
thing.
do see every once in a while you see someone doing like a throwback album cover. Okay, we're going back to the essence. Just gonna do a squad pick or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it's interesting how album covers have changed over time. That's something we can talk about another time. But if you look at like the history of album covers, especially in rap at least, you'll see a clear like progression and it's gone more artsy, at least in my opinion.
yeah,
Because like Prime also has a logo.
yeah. I did see that. Yeah, and that's a pretty. Looks like somebody worked on that. I mean, and that's good.
Yeah.
Like almost like they were going to come out with another one. So I mean, it's not everybody, other than Run the Jewels, who probably has the best one. Not many people have that. I mean, I guess you could kind of say Nas has a logo in some sense, but
Yeah, he's kind of used that same font for a while.
the old English.
Yeah, that old English font. Yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to think. So let's talk about our favorites in that category. Well, I'll say my favorite. Let's talk about favorite artsy one and then favorite like stylized one.
Okay.
Because like in terms of artsy like painted type of things, I'm trying to think of something which one I like or painted or drawn. Well, just because I listened to it recently and I'm biased, I like the De La Soul, the most recent one. I forgot the name of the album, but I liked it. I like what he's
Yep.
the message, and then I like the design was interesting, at least to me.
Yeah, it's not like it was more like a comic or something. I mean, not a comic,
Yeah.
but like a like a
It looked like a cell from a comic.
yeah. Not like a superhero comic, but more. See, I mean, we forgot about
Comic
that
strip.
character. We forgot about that. The whole superhero genre. But there's not many people that have done that
Who's done that?
recently. Not many people, honestly.
I can't think of anybody. But okay.
It happens every once in a while, but not
Yeah.
very often. I mean, the immediate one that pops in my mind is Graduation. I mean, that one was great. I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, more recently, you can go with Logic's latest album, Everybody, where it's actually a copy of another painting, but the same artist has done all his album covers, and it's he painted and I mean it's really cool. It's really interesting. There's a lot of characters on it and everything. Check that out. But they're always his covers are always pretty interesting, thought out and everything. But I'm trying to think of somebody else that had something that I really liked. It was artistic like that. Drawing a blank on some others that stood out.
So one I saw, I don't like his music, or I've never really listened to his music that much, but I saw Future has had some kind of artistic, interesting type things, like Dirty Sprite 2.
Yeah,
I
that
thought the
was
cover
a
looked
cool-
interesting.
Well, that
And
was the
then
one that looked
also-
like a stock. Does that the one look like a stock effect that you could get from?
No, it was like a cloud of crap.
Oh yeah.
That one, and I thought the newest Hendrix. I thought that one looked interesting because it's like a watercolor almost. Do I?
Well,
So
okay,
I'm
yeah, this
I'm trying to
this
ignore
confirms it.
the music part and just talk about the design. From the design perspective, I thought both of those were interesting.
Okay, well, yeah, this confirms it. Yeah, that Dirty Sprite 2 cover was taken from Shutterstock. I mean, it was they got that on Shutterstock and used it. Which I mean, it's a cool image, but I mean, hey, it's like, hey, can you just buy this real quick? All right, cool. Put that on. But hey, okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. That does look like something I could just find, like, I'm sure I could find a Photoshop tutorial on how to make this or something, because they just colorized it. But I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting how they did the name is, Fute Your and the DS2 in the middle. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no, I like the cover. I like it. I mean, and it fits with. I mean, it looks like it's talking about Sprite and everything, so it looks like it fits the works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at it. It's just like y'all couldn't just contact the artist and get them to make you a unique one.
Yeah, yeah. Because if I feel like I think that's the what kind of makes me like certain covers more is like I feel like, wow, they put some time to this, and this isn't like something I can just walk out on the corner and take a picture just like this with my friends. Whereas like your standard brooding rapper picture or your regular picture of like the squad, I can take my cheap camera out and just take that same picture right now.
Yeah. Except you don't have that many friends.
No, I'd have to be like, hey guys, can you guys stand with me?
Except your friends don't look that threatening.
No, it's like all friendly.
Yeah. Wait, it looks like they asked. It's that same image is also on the front of a chemistry book. But yeah, I don't know. You got to do a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to try harder.
I know you don't put that on them. But yeah, that's funny.
But the Hendrix cover, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a stock photo too. But I thought it was kind of interesting because it's like very subtle and minimalist. So that's another category we're going to talk about. But I thought it was interesting because it is artsy. It looks like watercolor.
I can't even. I don't think I've seen that one.
It's like Hendrix with no vowels and a bunch of X's at the end.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm spelling right.
Just do future. So we're Googling on this episode, but future albums.
Oh, okay, I see. That's not watercolor.
I don't know. It looked like watercolor when I looked at a small picture of it. I have not.
It looks like an out of focus photo. It's interesting. I mean, it's creative, but I mean, yeah, it looks like an kind of slightly out of focus photo that they desaturated and everything. But, I don't know. So what about Stylized? Or I guess we talked about favorites for Stylized. I mean, did we just say that?
No. So in terms of Stylized stuff, I think I like the one that comes to mind because we mentioned it earlier is Royce 5'9" Layers. I like that album cover. Because it's obviously based on some sort of picture, but then they really messed with it.
Yeah.
Up the contrast and all that other type of stuff. And it's got all kinds of stuff sitting on top of it. So I like that one. Trying to think.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, that Big Boy album, Vicious Lies and Dangerous Rumors. That one, I like that cover. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So back to the artsy thing, I like. It's not the last Joe Budden album, but the one before that. I guess it's All Love Lost, or most of Love Lost, or 3/4 of the Love Lost.
Some Love Lost.
The one with the it's got like a Cupid on it. I gotta Google it because I don't remember exactly, but I like that the imagery on it.
Oh. Okay. It's All Love Lost.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
Because it goes with like the title and everything. It makes sense because a lot of these a lot of albums you'll see, it's like the cover has nothing to do with whatever the album's about, and it doesn't communicate the message at all. Like ignoring the music completely. If I saw an album called Some All Love Lost or whatever, and it had the Cupid with an arrow on his back, I'm like, okay, I know exactly, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kind of like this other album, No Love Lost, which
one is?
Hey, Google No Love Lost. It looks like an R&B cover.
Okay, that one. Yeah, that's definitely R&B.
I was like, what? Because the other ones were good, so I don't know what happened there. I don't know. I don't even know what was on that. I didn't listen to it, but I don't know.
Well, from a non-album cover perspective, Ti seems like he's got some style, fashion-wise, to him. So, what what's his latest album? I forgot the name of it. Uh,
Uh,
I like
I
the
don't know.
cover for that a little bit. This is topic again. I liked so Paperwork was interesting, and Paper Trail. Paperwork, is that real out? Yeah, Paper Trail was like that same stylized type of thing.
Oh yeah, the stylized face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the brooding face genre again. Like,
He's just really mixing and matching here with that one. No, but yeah, that one's cool. I mean, I like the concept of that one with the
mm,
name and everything, and then it's like different sheets of paper on the wall and stuff. I mean, that's kind of cool.
yeah. I liked the one I was talking about was Us or Else. I thought that was an interesting album cover. I think he could have done more with that, but I still think I liked it.
Oh, what I did like of his is Trouble Man.
Okay, I'll have to find that one. Trouble Man.
It looks like a movie poster. I do like that one.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, now let's talk about. Well, we've mentioned this all the time. So there's the brooding rapper cover where you're just sitting there looking like you're thinking about something or angry about something. And since we're talking about Ti, Paper Trail is obviously that. Urban Legend is that. Trap music is that. Paperwork is
Does he
that.
have any that are not that?
Most of them are that. Most of them is just
Okay.
him looking like I'm thinking about something really hard. Don't know what to
A lot of things are running through my mind.
do.
Provocative
Thinking about whether to
things.
leave my wife or not. But
Oh my goodness.
yeah, this is not. I don't really have much to say about that genre. Like they're all kind of the same. The stylized ones I obviously like better. Like I do like Trope Man. Trope
Yeah.
Man is kind of tight actually. Um, but yeah, everyone's done that brooding cover. Like Jay Z, his first, a reasonable doubt. It's kind of the brooding thing, but you don't see his face. But like
Yeah.
Fat Joe has done it. Everybody's done it. Let's just end it with
Everybody, yeah,
that.
literally everybody is done. I mean, because there's that, or there's the praying hands pose,
Yeah. Like
which,
some recent examples is Kendrick Lamar, "Damn," that's a brooding face cover. Uh,
yeah.
let's think. I'm trying to think of another, but yeah, that's
Well,
good enough.
praying hands cover. I mean, Joe Budden's latest album, Praying Hands.
Yeah,
I think I mean, a lot of Ross's albums has got the praying hands thing going on, and sometimes he mixes in like the praying hands with a chain,
yeah,
so we get the bling also.
yep.
There's really,
But when your bars are that, when you be murdering people with your rhymes, you gotta pray. Well, I guess that's the reasoning.
oh, okay, all right,
When you've been in these streets like that, you gotta pray sometime.
okay, all right. Well, I guess.
All right. So next genre.
The minimal cover.
Ti King involved in that.
Oh my goodness! If you did not get off of
Okay, I'm gonna
T.I.'s
stop
album
talking about
covers.
Ti's album
All right.
covers.
Okay, so I mean, the easiest one. I mean, the most minimal cover would be Yeezus, which
Yeah.
had no cover. There's just the orange thing on there, which I don't. It's the most minimal. I don't know that it was. I don't know if I would say that's a good
Mhm.
concept for a minimal. I don't know. I don't know if I would say that. I mean, it's just like, oh, especially because it came back with Life of Pablo, which was actually
It's pretty
worse
terrible.
than not
Yeah.
having a cover. So I don't know how you achieve that, but there you go. That was actually worse. I mean, and then you have a couple. I mean, he actually had another one, the 808s and Heartbreaks. I would say that
Yeah.
was pretty minimal. One back in the day that I would say was minimal was Chronic 2001.
Well, it's got the brooding rapper face, but yeah, it's pretty minimal.
No,
Oh, Chronic 2001. I'm thinking of
not
the original Chronic.
no,
I don't remember what was
2001.
on that. It's just a leaf.
Yeah, it had like a digital leaf and stuff like that. Which is funny looking at it now because it looks like it was trying to be futuristic for 2001, and that's like, dude. Looks like MS DOS. Like, come on.
What I thought of was like the Black album was kind of minimal. Jay Z Black album. Uh, that's again
Oh
another
yeah.
combination of the brooding rapper face with like a very low contrast and like some color overlay or something like that. But that one's minimal. I was trying to think of another one. How I Got Over. It's kind of minimal. It's like some silhouettes of some people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I count it as minimal.
I'm sure we're missing some other very minimal.
It's minimal squad.
Because I'm
Yeah.
sure there's other ones where it's like just a person's name or something like that, but I don't remember. Um,
Yeah, their album probably wasn't very good, so I remember that.
but I think Kanye wins the
Um,
minimal, most minimal. But in terms of good design,
but
minimal.
maybe not
Yeah,
the
I'm trying to
best
think
of
of
minimal.
a good
Yeah.
minimal. Um, well, tired of talking about Ti, but I think Us or Else is a good minimal, very good minimal.
I'm not Google. That's the
I
one.
just got Us, like big US, and then or else.
Okay, fine. I'll look at it.
I think it's good.
The topic and everything. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's cool. Yeah. No, I mean, that's cool. I don't know if they count as minimal because it has the flag and all that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, but it's less than what like if you compare it to most rap album covers, you're not gonna see all that
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Oh, you can throw Run the Jewels in the
Yeah,
minimal,
Run the Jewels is pretty
I guess.
minimal. Jay Z, he had that one with just like three stripes on it, three red stripes, and it's got drums and stuff in the background. Eh,
That's not minimal.
yeah, that's
It's got that mad stuff in the background.
so. I don't think rap has really gotten into the minimal stuff because obviously there's other genres that have done it, but most rap stuff is not
Yeah.
going to be very minimal or like
Yeah, people know how much
yeah,
money you have.
people know who you are, so yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Because yeah, there's not very many rappers that are trying to hide. Well, I don't know where that would go. Um,
Yeah,
Enough Doom.
I've never seen any of his albums, so I need to see what they look like. But yeah, he doesn't. He's not. Well, yeah, they're not minimal, but I like some of his stuff. So we talk about his in terms of stylized stuff, but he's definitely like got the stylized look going on because you don't have his face, and he does have a logo technically. Um,
Yeah.
that mask,
Well, there's one that's kind of
like
I guess
Danger
it's not
Doom.
minimal. The Mad Villain album.
Oh yeah, yeah, I like that one.
The and he's got the comic book stuff going on. So there you
Yeah,
go. You asked, there's somebody, and then Sean Price does that too. Um,
rest in peace.
but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a whole lot of minimal album covers other than those that we mentioned. I'm sure there's
Well, in
others.
terms of like stylized and painted stuff, like artistic ones, I completely forgot about Mike Tyson, Sean Price, and that's one I really like too.
Yeah, no, that one's good. Yeah. Like we said, there's a lot of people. I'm sure we missed
Yeah.
like tons of people. Um, Fight me. Um, oh, you can make your own list. I don't know. I'm sure we missed a lot of people. Um, so for the next one, that's you call it controversial or the provocative album cover. Um, and that can go several different directions. Because you have like Little Kim's album covers. Um, you have Two Live Crew's album cover. That was like one of the early ones where it was just like a
Yeah,
bunch
that
of
wasn't
butts.
really like
Um,
I don't know. I didn't think of that as provocative, but yeah, at
for
the
the
time it was probably
time,
like, oh
for
my
the time,
god.
yeah. Now it's like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, for the time, like Little Kim's at the time it was like, oh my goodness, But you've got like people that have done that similar
Hmm.
things since then. A lot of people, you have to do more than that to be provocative, which brings us to now where you've got like Young Thug's album cover, which got people
Yeah,
talking a lot. Uh, which I thought, it was really
yeah, it was
cool
kind of
looking.
artsy,
Honestly,
kind of
it was
minimalist.
interesting looking.
I've never so again,
Yeah.
don't take any of our comments to apply it to these people's music. It's just the design of their cover.
Yeah, I didn't listen. I didn't really listen. I mean, I heard it was okay. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an opinion. um,
Yeah, and then Lil
I
Yachty's
mean,
also
and
trying to
then
be provocative in some kind of way. And then back in the day, people
yeah,
used to try and be provocative by like burning flags or random stuff like that. Like I know Ice Cube had some stuff that was considered
oh yeah,
provocative on some of his album covers as well. Um, and I saw well Ice T, that Power album that I've never heard.
yeah, yeah. I've never listened to it. I like the
Yeah.
cover though. I like the style of it and everything. I hate the
Oh, the
font,
font
but
was terrible.
um,
He's like, what?
um, but I don't, other ones that like really like cause like a stir or something like that with
Like
people.
that Nicki Minaj thing, but that
Oh
wasn't an album cover. That was just for Anaconda. Um, I don't think I've ever actually listened to that whole song before either. Just a side note. I've never
you
actually
didn't
listened
listen to
to any of her albums either.
me neither.
So, oh well. But yeah, the controversial thing is just, yeah, okay. So, in terms of ones that
Well,
I thought were good, uh, hmm, that's a good question.
well, there's the Nas
Oh
one
yeah,
where his back is actually the logo that we're talking about is actually like whipped
yeah, but
on
that
his
wasn't
back.
really. I didn't think that one was
Um,
controversial. It was more the album name than the picture.
I mean, it's yeah. Well, it was a combination of the two. I mean, it's it
Yeah.
stands out for sure.
Well, if we're
Um,
talking about controversial
but
stuff,
yeah,
if we're gonna say that one was controversial, then that's probably one of my favorites, uh, design wise, because I thought it was creative. He's got his kind of being consistent with his branding and his font and all that type of stuff. That's an interesting way of conveying the message without calling your album what he was gonna call it. Um,
yeah.
in terms of like the other ones we talked about, I thought Nicki Minaj's was interesting just because it was so minimal for
For
Anaconda.
wait for album
Anaconda.
or the Anaconda?
For the
Oh,
album itself, she's done some minimalist stuff, like for Pink Print and stuff like that, I think. But yeah, I don't know.
it's just something about that one draws you in. Yeah. Well, I mean, that one was a variation on Lil
Yeah,
Kim's cover, you know, from the other side, more minimal, like the updated version
yeah.
of it or whatever. So, I mean, for that reason, I can't give it that because it wasn't. I wouldn't call
No,
it
I'm not
unique.
saying. I'm just saying strictly like design. Did I like the design? I like minimal stuff, so I prefer that over Lil
Yeah,
Kim's. Plus, Lil Kim's just looks more dated now. But yeah, I'm trying to think like the Ice T and Ice Cube and stuff. Like I didn't think any of that stuff was that amazing. That I would say, I,
well, you just like the Nicki Minaj one. I mean, the Power one has the same kind of
yeah,
thing
you're
going
right.
on. I mean, I would say that one. I mean, I like that one because on the back of that one, I mean, it pulls in the back
Mm.
of the cover
Yeah,
too.
that's interesting.
'Cause on the front, it looks just like she's the only one holding the gun, but on the back, they're holding the gun back. So, I mean,
Mm.
I kind of like that. I mean, it was kind of a cool concept to have that, which something you can't really do now because,
There's no back.
you know, yeah, there's no back. um, which I mean, I remember I used to love. I mean, looking at album covers and all the artwork and everything. But I mean, that's kind
Yeah,
of
in
I don't
terms
know,
of
it's kind of lost.
kind of off topic, but in terms of people that like, I really like the whole packaging artwork type of thing. Outkast has always done a great job because their covers aren't always
Yeah,
like amazing, but then the CD itself is a picture and everything's got a picture on it, and it's not just like a texture of bricks or something like that. So I think that's
yeah,
definitely uh, amazing that they actually took the time to actually like design everything, and it was always kind of a theme. Like it was always a girl on the CD, at least the ones I had.
yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I like the full design thing. I mean, I mean, we're kind of done with that list, so we can talk about that now. I mean, just how you know if that matters. I mean, I always appreciated that. You get the CD, you get through the book. I mean, some people like reading the liner notes and all that kind of stuff. I didn't care about that. I just like looking at the pictures and the
Hmm.
design of it. What was on the CD, just how everything went together. Because it just, I don't know. as a designer. I mean, back then, back in the day when I was looking at that, I wasn't necessarily thinking as a designer probably, but just from the artistic standpoint, I like, I've always appreciated good art, good design and
Yeah.
everything. So, um, I think, I don't know, I feel like that's missed now because the only thing now that you get is the cover, if that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Because, I mean, because we were arguing about it and David was wrong about it, but he was saying that, that the cover doesn't matter anymore.
I think it matters, but
With,
not as much. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of
I,
people, cartoons and stuff like that, a lot of times you might not even see the cover. Like, because when we were preparing for this podcast, I had to do a lot of Googling because there's a lot of covers I had never even seen before. Unless it came out back in the day, I didn't see it. Because the newer ones, I'll get the music however I get the music, but I might not always see the cover. So I think the cover matters when you're trying to be provocative because like there's a lot of talk about like Young Thug or Nicki Minaj or Yachty's cover
yeah.
because it was something interesting. But if you just came out with a generic squad shot or something like that, I don't think people would care that much.
No, nobody would care about that. I mean, even your typical mixtape with you doing some kind of crime or something like that. I don't know. That doesn't matter anymore. That doesn't get, especially because nowadays it's, people like memes.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if your cover is memeable, like, I mean, think like Chance's album. I mean, maybe not for a meme, but people get to switch it up and stuff like that. You can do stuff with it to
mm-hmm.
promote the album. Like, I know Common was doing this thing where you could put your face in it. I don't know. It didn't wasn't very
like
successful.
that
Neither
album.
was that album. I forgot that album, but yeah.
Yeah, because like
Um,
Sheether, and that became a thing. It wasn't an album, but
I don't remember what the cover
the
was.
cover it was like a Barbie doll that was like all dismembered and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it like has to be. I mean, you can't nowadays. I don't think you can. It's either go hard or don't make an
Yeah,
album cover. Like
it's got to be
it has to be
memeable.
good because that's
It's got to be repostable and shareable and all that type of stuff. And if it's just you and your squad, it's not that
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Unless your squad looks interesting, otherwise, yeah, you can't do it. I mean, people. I mean, yeah. I mean, they're stepping it up. I mean, I would say like even Migos' latest album cover. I like that. It was creative. It's like a jumble of different things like in the middle, but I like the way it's like a jumble of all the things that like it's like imagine like um No Limit album
Mm-hmm.
cover imploded. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I kind of like that. I mean, it's all jumbled in the middle, so it's kind of interesting. Um, I mean, I'm trying to think of some other recent ones. I mean, or when I was talking about Logic's album, like going all out and make it fully artistic, like a full-on painting you can put on your wall, kind of thing. Um, I can't think of anybody just coming with something
I
weak
mean, there
nowadays.
definitely are, but you wouldn't hear about them. You'd have to
Well,
go on like hip hop.
exactly. Yeah, I'm not thinking. I mean, of people that I like listening to, everybody's had a good album cover, honestly. I mean, I wonder. I mean, do you judge an album based on their cover?
Well, to some extent, because I was thinking like you said like everybody listen to has had a good album cover. Like I was thinking about Lupe. Not his current album. I don't know what his current album
Mm.
cover looks like. I'd have to. I was on Spotify. I listened to it, but I don't remember what it looked like. But like his previous one, it was just some weird artsy stuff. It wasn't even that great to me.
Yeah, I don't know what that had to do with the album. Yeah, the album was pretty good, but yeah, the cover was like, what?
Yeah.
All
So
right. It just like it seemed like he just picked a painting that he liked. And I
yeah.
was like, all right, put
Well,
that
it's
on.
following the trend of being artsy on your cover. Oh, that
Yeah, but it's
reminds me.
gotta
So
connect,
one of my
huh?
favorite artsy covers is actually an album I didn't care for. I never actually listened to honestly. Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon.
Oh, that's a good album.
Yeah, one day I'll listen to it, but I didn't. I didn't. I heard the one song and I didn't really feel pressed to listen to the rest of it, so I never did. Um,
I'm
it's
trying
like
to remember
his
what that one
head on the. It's the
looked like.
moon. His head is on. It's part his head and part his moon. Part the moon. What? Part of his head and part of the moon.
No.
But it's like painted. It's by I think the guy who did it is like does comic books and stuff too.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I like that one actually. Yeah, no, that's cool. I actually like that one. Um, I would say, I guess, like one way people are expanding. I mean, you don't find it all in the, you know, your front, your back, your inside cover, and all that kind of stuff. But for each single, I see people putting out a cover
Mm,
for each single nowadays, just
yeah.
so that there's something there, you know. Because people, you know, they watch on YouTube or something like that. Even when you listen on iTunes or wherever else, it
Hmm.
shows the image of it. So if you have a single, then it's, you know, put
Yeah,
an
so
image
that's
with it.
that's something I do appreciate when I'm playing it on my phone and like I'm on the train or whatever, and I look at my phone. I like to have a good picture to look at while I'm looking at my phone. It's because while your phone is locked, it's showing on the lock screen or whatever, or at least that's the way my phone works. So
Mm,
I prefer that over it being like something where I'm like trying to close my phone real quick so no one sees the picture because it's like something crazy or inappropriate to be like pulling out your pocket.
Anaconda,
Yeah.
Anaconda.
Or I mean, so I appreciate a good picture, and I think that's why people are putting certain types of effort into it now because you got to think about where this is going to show up. Okay, it's got to work well on a lock screen. It's got to work well on
Yeah,
Instagram. It's got to work well on Facebook, Twitter, et cetera, in a meme. So,
yeah.
like, there's more thought being put into that, and maybe not as much thought being put into, you know, the booklet and all the
The
other
book
crap that goes
and
with
everything.
what used to
Yeah,
be a physical, you know, song, CD.
yeah. I mean, you can still get that stuff. I mean, you can still get the physical CD and all that. I mean, but I honestly, for most recent albums, I haven't bought a CD in a while, so I don't know. I have no idea how much effort is still being put into those. I mean, maybe it is. I mean, because I
Yeah.
always wanted to design an album cover.
Didn't
So
didn't you buy Yeezus?
yeah, I think I did.
Did that have like actual stuff inside of it, or it was just
It
literally a
a
disc with an
disc with
orange
an
stripe
orange
on
stripe on it. It's literally nothing on
Okay.
there. I don't know where. Yeah, because I do have a
Well,
bunch
yeah,
of
that's
CDs, like old CDs from back when I did buy them. It's interesting.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say like for the people that actually put the effort into it, like I know Run the Jewels actually they like actually have vinyl and CDs and
Yeah.
stuff you could buy. Those I like if I can't think of a good example, but if you have a terrible album cover, I'm never gonna buy your physical stuff because I don't need it. One, and then also because it just doesn't look good. But if you do something that really looks good and it's like oh, this is like an art piece I could have in my house, then I might consider buying it. And I don't think everyone
It
puts
may
that
at
effort
least
in
pull me
because
in.
maybe they're not that
It may
confident.
pull me in, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of like, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, but I mean, I absolutely do. I
yeah,
don't
definitely.
know. It's just like, you know, you didn't put much effort into it. So, I mean, you don't really care about me as a, you know, listener.
As a
Yeah.
consumer,
So,
yeah,
I don't know. Why do I care about you as an art? I don't know. I mean, it's so easy to find somebody to put something interesting on the cover. It's not that hard. Like,
yeah. Somebody's gonna be willing to do it as a fan or
yeah,
whatever.
it's not that. It's find anything. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just
Well, I think that's the other thing I was gonna say is like Run the Jewels. I follow Killer Mike on Instagram, and if you look like, and I've seen other like, you'll see a lot of fan art based on
yeah,
their, the gun and the fist with the chain thing. Because it's so easy, like it's memorable, it's easy to replicate and that type of stuff. So I'm sure they don't have trouble coming up with album covers because someone's willing to do it. Whereas if you don't really have that symbology or logo type of situation going, then as a fan, I'm not gonna like not every fan is gonna be willing to like spray paint your face on the side of a building in Brooklyn like they would do for Biggie because you're not that good of a rapper. But also like if you have something easy to remember and easy to like reuse and share like that, then it's like because I can draw that hand and gun thing
yeah.
myself like and it doesn't take me any time. I'm sure my daughters could probably draw that too, so it's easy to replicate and remember, and it's kind of
Well,
like
and they have the whole
cheap
hand
marketing, you know
symbol
what
to
I'm
go
saying?
with it, like in person, and it's like perfect.
Yeah,
You know, that's what you want. It's
yeah,
iconic. It's
yeah,
it's not going anywhere. And people will hold on to that just for the strength of being able to. Do they like doing it? You know, I mean, it's
yeah.
that.
So from a perspective of, well, at least in recent times, from a perspective of a combination of design as well as like the whole marketing branding thing, I think Run the Jewels is probably one of the best out there
Yeah,
currently, at least, that's doing it.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, because they have, yeah, I mean, it's an iconic thing. I mean, I would put MF Doom as one of those people. I mean, it's not so much a logo, but well, yeah, it is kind of a logo. It's an iconic thing,
Hmm.
that mask that you associate with it. I mean, as far as somebody else that's doing that, there's really not that many people like
No,
solid, like I mean,
I think if Ye had been
oh, with the
consistent
bear thing,
with what he was
yeah,
doing, but he's going through phases and trying everything and copying other people and that type of stuff. So that's fine.
yeah. Well, but even then, I mean, I don't think the
Um,
bear was that strong. I didn't see anybody like trying to draw the bear and crap like that. I mean, it was,
I don't. It didn't stick around that
yeah.
long, so
Well, I mean, but the Run the
that's
Jewels
fine.
thing, that
But
was iconic out the gate. So
yeah,
that's just,
yeah, but I can do it with my
yeah.
hands.
I mean, yeah, it's
Like
like that's
I just
just
need two
ideal,
hands.
perfect design right there. I mean, it's just it is what it is. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't really top that.
and then that combined with good music, it's hard to beat. I'm sure there's other people that have probably good designs and logos and stuff they're using for their music stuff, but having good music to go around along
Yeah,
with it also
yeah,
helps.
no, absolutely. Because yeah, then you got the it just spreads it and spreads it.
More people
Yeah,
to hear about it. Yeah.
so I mean, it's like
Well, I think that's all for this week. Um, if we forgot to mention your favorite artist during this discussion, we're sorry. We may have forgotten them. If you know of like really well designed hip hop, rap, R&B label album covers, we didn't talk about album R&B at
I
all.
don't, I
I I
yeah
don't know
either.
about them either. But well, I did see off topic. I did see what's that dude's name? Lloyd's album cover. He's sitting on a waterfall looking like Tarzan or
No,
something. But anyway,
looking like
um,
2014 Forest Hill Drive. It's
well, I
more
saw.
like it's more like 2017 Forest.
Yeah, exactly. I saw someone on Instagram saying that they were recording a music video for something. They were sitting on the roof, and I was like, "All right,
Mm,
stop jocking." What's his name? Cole.
well, I saw somebody.
You like
They
you
took
can't sit on the roof.
graduation pictures sitting on a roof. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what's cool about an album cover if people are mimicking it. But people, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know that cover was that amazing. It's just people like
it
people
wasn't
like
that
J.
amazing to
Cole, so
me.
they're gonna mimic it either way. So,
Yeah, I actually listened to that album. I haven't listened to the new one.
in 2014 was good. The latest one, I wouldn't call it bad. I just, I don't know. I listened to it a couple of times and I just wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't drawn in like I was for the last one.
Yeah, like I say with my like, I have a Netflix queue. I don't prioritize. Like that's one of those things that I want to listen to it one day, but it ain't gonna be that soon because there's plenty of other stuff I can listen to before that.
Yeah,
So yeah. Anyway, we've been talking for a long time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning
yeah.
in. Be sure to subscribe and like and comment and all that stuff. Uh,
We'll get back to our
yeah,
schedule. Um,
we'll be back to our regularly scheduled
yeah.
programming. Did we have a word for the week?
I feel like at the beginning you said something like, did you say coagulate? No. What did you say?
No.
Um, cognate? No.
Cognizant.
Was that the word?
I might have said that. I don't know.
We'll go with
It's not important for us to have a word of the week.
that. I forgot to make a note of it.
Do you have a Netflix suggestion?
For the week? Master of None.
Oh yeah, season 2 came out. I didn't guess season 1 was alright, but I didn't think I thought it was gonna be like funny, but it wasn't.
It's, I don't know. It's kind of like Louis, where it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's funny,
Yeah, it's
but
just like
it's
entertaining.
mostly,
It makes you
yeah, you're
think.
just, yeah. It's not
Feeling
ha ha
sorry
ha
for that guy.
funny. It's,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
I'll check it out. I'm currently watching. I just finished Get Down. I watched both seasons.
second one was better.
Uh,
It, yeah,
yeah.
they
Is it over? I wasn't sure. Because it's like, okay, a rap album came out, so is it over? But I
yeah,
don't
that
know.
was the end of the season.
Um,
I mean, it got better. I mean, it feels like the second season they got into their groove. I think so. That was cool.
yeah. And then I'm watching. After I finished that, I started watching Archer season 7. Uh, so
So,
yeah,
I forget. I always forget about Archer.
yep. That's what happened to the last J Cole album
Yeah.
too. I forgot about it. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, Alien Muffin.
Yeah.
Trying to get these followers up.
Like.
All right, so until next time,
Yeah.
we out here. We gotta go take a possible